The new cruise normal. What to expect on your first cruise back. What to expect on cruises in 2021. I was sitting over here, thought you guys already knew this, but it's become painfully obvious that a lot of you just don't know. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Cruise News Show. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise updates. Well, I've preached this message before. I've proclaimed from the mountaintops that cruising will be different when we go back, and there's still people out there acting like cruising won't be different, and so this one's for you. Let's talk about the new cruise normal. Let's talk about what to expect on your first cruise back. Let's talk about what to expect on cruises in 2021. Well, first of all, and I don't know that everybody knows this, I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it, but every cruise coming up in the near future will be a themed cruise. That's right, you didn't even know you were signing up for a themed cruise, but the reality is you will be getting on a themed cruise, and the theme is COVID. That's right, in the near term and probably most of 2021, every cruise going out will be hyperly, sensitively focused on the virus. Yay! And that hypersensitive focus on the virus will change many aspects of cruising. The cruise line, like no other time in history, will be concerned about your health. In the past, we've had regular health screenings where you've answered a questionnaire, said you feel good, you don't feel good, and zippity-doo! You get on the cruise ship. Well, it's not going to be that easy anymore. You either have to provide certification of a negative test, or you have to be tested at the embarkation point, and then there's more health screening after that, and in many cases, there's daily temperature scans. So get ready for a more aggressive interest in your personal health. Another part of the new cruise normal, something that you can expect in 2021, is a new dress code requirement. And in the past, where dress code recommendations have been easily ignored, I just don't think it's going to be true in this case. Fortunately, it's not going to take up a lot of space in your suitcase. But under the new cruise normal, the dress code will include a face covering. You don't have to bring a tuxedo, but in a lot of places on the cruise ship, you will have to wear something that covers up your mouth and your nose. And again, the cruise lines will be looking for it, and they will be enforcing it. Another thing in the new cruise normal that the cruise line will be enforcing is physical distancing. The cruise line is going to do a lot of work on the front end. They're going to take a look at their physical spaces. They're going to reconfigure it so that social distancing, physical distancing happens naturally with the furniture, but no longer will you be shoulder to shoulder with a stranger in the main dining room, no longer shoulder to shoulder with a stranger in the main theater, and no longer shoulder to shoulder with a stranger at the casino. Another interesting aspect that comes with the new cruise normal will be a reliance on contact tracing. Contact tracing can take many forms, but the end result is to try and understand who you've been in contact with in case anything happens on the cruise ship, so that they can not only isolate you, but also target the people that you've been in contact with in case something goes wrong. Cruise lines are doing this in a few different ways. They're creating wearables, of course, that you can wear, and apps on your smartphone, all in the effort to keep up with who you have had contact with on the cruise ship. A couple other aspects of cruising in 2021 that you will certainly notice is shorter cruises and limited capacity. Regulations are in place for both of those things to be adhered to. So if you're used to jumping on a mega ship piled to the brim with people and sailing for 21 days, well, that's not going to be part of the 2021 cruise experience. Another big change that we will see in cruises in the near term in 2021 is less interaction between the guest and the staff, and a greater limitation on self-service food and drink. This most likely means the end of the traditional self-service buffet, or at least the way we knew it before 2020. This could also mean the end of self-service ice cream, self-service coffee stations, self-service drink stations, salsa bar, toppings bar, really anywhere where a bunch of people can share utensils and dig into stuff. It's probably going away in 2021. And it also signals that there will be a greater reliance on new technology in the form of payment, in the form of ordering, in the form of interaction, to minimize the need for the guest to interact with the crew member. There's also another aspect of cruising in 2021, higher costs. We've already started to see it. Cruises are costing more in 2021, 2022, 2023 than they did prior to 2020. I don't think we'll see a swing back to lower prices until cruise ship inventory way outpaces the demand for cruising. That will happen when new cruise ships come online, when all the cruise ships that haven't been able to sail start sailing again. But in the short term, limited amount of cruises, high demand for cruising, that is resulting in higher prices. Now, I do want to transition to some more serious topics. Before I get there, let me invite you to subscribe to Lido Loca. If you like staying up to date with the latest in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. I'm trying to make the tone more serious because I need to talk about a couple things that I just don't know that everybody is getting out there. Let me put it like this. If cruising in the near term, cruising in 2021 was a prom and COVID was the theme of that prom, then the king of that prom would be disruption and his queen would be lessons learned. Cruising for the next year has the potential to be disruptive. Don't believe me? Let's look at what just happened on the Quantum of the Seas. 4-day cruise, everybody gets on, and for the most part, they're having a great time. They're dealing with all of the new protocols, they're dealing with everything that I talked about, and then all of a sudden, there is a report of a positive case on board, and everything goes sideways. People are required to go back to their cabin, contact tracing happens, a group of people are put into an isolation area, and one poor gentleman is now the focus and the cause of a whole cruise ship turning around with over 1,000 guests and going back to its embarkation port. It was a great example of Royal Caribbean following all the protocols they put in place, reacting quickly to a positive virus confirmation, and taking care of all of their guests and crew and getting them back so that they could deal with the situation. Of course, we know the rest of the story. Once the gentleman was taken to a medical facility in Singapore, he was tested 3 more times, and each of those subsequent tests, he was shown not to have the virus, pointing squarely at that first test as a false positive. So some cruisers out there, they picked up their pitchforks, they've lit the torches, they've rattled the chain and saying, this is horrible. This is horrible. Could you imagine spending all that money to go on vacation just to get turned around for a false positive? How could that be? Well, again, that's the 3rd cruise using the new protocols after a 9-month shutdown. Anybody getting on that cruise should have had some sort of idea that it could be disruptive. Let's get real. If you're getting on a cruise ship anytime in 2021, when the theme is COVID, which it will be prepared for disruption. If you're sitting there thinking nothing better go wrong with my 2021 cruise, that I'm going to be on the chip, that I'm going to scream I paid my money, that nothing bad should happen to me, you're already setting yourself up for a bad time. If you're worried that your 2021 cruise may not go off without a hitch, get out of that thing. Try to move it. Try to get your money back. Because the new cruise normal, like I said, the king of the prom will be disruption. And if you're one of those people where the king of the prom sits out your dance, count yourself lucky. Now, I mentioned the queen of the prom is lessons learned. If I was a leader over there at Royal Caribbean, I would definitely be asking the question, why do we not test this guest multiple times on board? This would be my lesson learned. Why not test the guy's sample 4 times in a row? That is eventually what happened. The original sample that he gave was tested again on land and came up negative. Is that not something they could have done on the Quantum of the Seas before they sounded the alarm and turned the cruise ship around? I'm not intimate with their protocol. It is very easy to armchair quarterback it, but if I was a leader over at Royal Caribbean, I would try to bake in at least 1 or 2 more ways to test the guest before you turn the cruise ship around and bring everybody back. Again, I think Royal Caribbean did a stellar job with their protocol. The biggest blowback that this event is getting is about testing and how testing is unreliable. And since that is true and known on some level, it seems like there should be a protocol in place to verify the test before calling off the whole cruise. That will probably be a lesson learned. Protocols will probably be changed. Disruption and lessons learned. The new king and queen of the COVID prom, the new cruise normal, what to expect on your first cruise back, what to expect on cruises in 2021. What do you think? Do you want to go on one of these themed cruises, or do you feel like it's better to wait it out? Thank you so much for watching the show today. Please show your support by hitting the like button. This is Tony with Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.